Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2 where we have Roxkiss taking on Terrible Damage, formerly known as IC Cup. This is the winners bracket finals. One game only is a best of one, and one of these two teams will be waiting in the grand finals to take a minimum prize of $3,000, while the loser of this will fight for the chance to be in the grand finals as well, up against the loser bracket finalists at the moment. I can't reveal that for now because I tried not to put any spoilers in the games, but I'll try not to. No guarantees given, unfortunately, for you. But of course I will not be by myself for this match or these matches. I'm joined by Kanaz. Kanaz, welcome back.
Good to be back.
So Roxkiss does it again.
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, it looks like they're confident with the Centaur picks. It worked out from the first game, so we'll see if they can continue their streak. This is still a best of one, so I mean, I think TTD probably are aware of it. All the players are there on LAN. They probably saw what happened in that game. They should know what they're going to do with the Centaur.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I like it. However, this time they're actually up against an IO. I mean, IO picked up by TTD. Have a Weaver as well, so that's Jackal's signature carry hero. Jackal's Weaver is definitely a scary thing. I wouldn't be all too surprised if there's also going to be a tree, just in case. But what we saw last game, of course, or with the Centaur, last game from the Centaur, he had free farm. And he was just free farming, and then he had 2 hearts and an AC and nobody could kill him. I think TTD is not going to let that happen. I think they are a team that, I mean, we called them CIS Slayers, right? And when they were IC Cup, so they definitely do that injustice. They are normally able to either end the game very early or lose the game very early. They are a team that has very high aggression. And that's going to be not good for a Centaur War Runner that wants to farm until he has 2 hearts and an AC.
I mean, yeah, we'll see if that's going to be the case again, where they just kind of farm Centaur all game until he's impossible to kill, or if they have another strategy in mind with him in this particular game. Of course, going up against the Wisp, you kind of figure there'll be at least some aggression coming out, pressure in multiple places on the map, as that is what a Wisp is normally used for. We'll see who they pair up with it. Weaver the pick right now. Not usually a hero you want to pair with the Wisp in particular. It doesn't really benefit from the move speed. He does have a way to get right behind him with the Shukuchi. You can kind of run through them and stun them with it, but it's kind of minor. So probably expecting to see some other sort of carry, and maybe with the Weaver in a solo role, whether that's like safe lane solo or maybe even mid.
Yeah, I like Weaver more in a safe lane solo role, but I was not that strong in an aggressive tri lane, so we'll see what they end up doing with those. We have got Queen of Pain banned out with the Bane, Nature's Prophet, and the Lifestealer banned out as well. We still have the Darkseer in the pool picked up by Rox now for their off lane, so far it looks to be indeed a little bit different than what... Actually, no it doesn't. What am I saying? Well, it looks a little bit different in terms of having the Naga Siren, but Darkseer of course was the one, I believe, that ran in the aggressive tri lane in the game that they played?
No, that was the last game.
Oh, I'm confused with that. Okay.
Yeah, that was that was Power Rangers versus Cascade.
Yeah, my
last
bad,
game.
then.
They had the aggressive Darkseer. No, Darkseer, I don't think they had him in that first game. They had... I don't even remember now, it was so long ago.
Mirana.
Yeah, that's right, they had a farming Mirana in their tri-lane.
Bane, and something else.
Yes.
I don't know what else anymore. Doesn't matter. They're a different game.
Abaddon.
Abaddon. Oh yeah, of course. Well, Abaddon got banned out in the first banning phase already, so no longer in the pool. But Darkseer, nice pickup. We have got TTD going into their bonus time right now. I mean, so far having a Weaver and IO doesn't really give that much away for their draft and how they're gonna run things. They pick up a Clockwork, hoping that's gonna be an off laner, or at least not a mid laner, because I don't really like Clockwork as a mid laner. I have decided. Looks like Rox is still pretty strong for an aggressive tri lane potentially, though, with the Naga Siren and a Visage. That is a painful combination if they get it off, with the Riptide, Soul Assumption, and Snare, just to not let the target get away. And I wouldn't even be surprised if the Darkseer is the one to run that aggressive tri lane, and they copied something that they saw from the previous team. Of course, this is a LAN event, and they were able to watch the previous games.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they could certainly go that route if they want to. I'm not really expecting it thus far, but if they really want to give the safe lane farm to Centaur again, it's something they can consider. And I think it might just end up being very reactionary to what they think TTD are going to run. And with that Enigma pick, it's starting to maybe come into picture a little bit more.
I like Enigma. I hope that he can get some good black holes off. I'm still kind of worried though, because we saw in the previous game where the Centaur was there that one gyrocopter wasn't enough to do all the damage, and I wonder if one Weaver is.
Well, with TTE's current lineup, they could very easily just pick up something like Chaos Knight even and go IO, Chaos Knight mid,
True.
safe lane Weaver, off lane Clockwork, jungle Enigma, and it wouldn't be that bad at all. There are a lot of options that they could pick and just run a dual lane mid with what their current lineup is, and Rox probably are aware of that. And considering what they're going to go for, they don't have anyone who's really obviously a mid hero yet either. Naga, Visage, probably the two supports. And then you kind of assume Darkseer wants the solo, but we did see Centaur do it that first game. So both sides can do a lot of things right now. I'm just less certain what I think Rox are going to do with their heroes.
Yeah, we might have a puck still picked up. We have a TA ban, at least. And the first pick, of course, does go to Rox. And both here teams need their mid-hero. I think that's going to put TTD slightly in favor, because they can just pick to counter their opponent team. On the other side, we do indeed have Rox with a bit more, oh, there goes the puck, with a bit more versatility in terms of being able to maybe even run the Darkseer on the mid lane if need be.
Yeah, Darkseer is certainly a hero that could end up in the mid lane. It's not something we see a ton of, especially in like recent months, but Darkseer mid was somewhat common when TA was very popular just because of how badly Darkseer can destroy TA in the mid lane, just chase her down behind towers and kill her because she can't really do much against him. We'll see if that's something they're thinking about. I don't really expect it, but it's certainly they could, and then Centaur safe lane solo again and pick up a carry here. They would be giving that away pretty obviously if they pick a carry at this point, but it's the end of the draft anyway, so maybe they're not super worried about it.
Well, they're taking into their bonus time regardless. Of course, they might also use this time to think about what they are going to do with their lineup, how they're going to run things, how their opponents are going to run things, and how they're going to maybe make some early game movements already, if need be. I mean, or maybe they're just taking time to let someone else go to the toilet or something. We don't know. It can all happen. But Rox, Timbersaw it is. Well, it is a solo, potential solo hero, but it doesn't really specify really who's going where.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like this pick. It doesn't give away exactly how they're going to end up laning, and TTT are still going to have to deal with it. Shadow Fiend pickup, that's probably going to be a mid lane hero. We'll see exactly where IO goes. I still think he might end up in the mid lane, maybe tries to rock some of those mid pulls on the Wisp. It's certainly something they could consider. They could also just go bottom and sort of dual lane with Weaver. Either way, I don't really love the IO pick here, but Wisp is always powerful, so they can try, as long as they can put pressure on the map with it, it'll still end up working out for them.
It seems more like the IO pick is there because it could be.
Yeah, because they had the opportunity to pick Wisp, they picked Wisp. The rest of the draft kind of just developed as it did, but they already had Wisp, so it's still a powerful hero. They can try and gank with it, they can get kills. I mean, Shadow Fiend, Weaver are both heroes that can benefit from getting to the fight. Shadow Fiend with his ultimate, and Weaver just typically likes to run around with Shukuchi, but it's not one of those particularly powerful picks like when you see a Chaos Knight or maybe a Tiny, and you're like, oh, I see what they're doing with this Wisp, it's going to really benefit them.
I do like the Shadow Fiend pick up against the Centaur though. I mean, if you were able to land some bugs on him with the Swarm, and you get Shadow Fiend to hit on him as well, I mean, the Centaur will just have minus armor, maybe, hopefully, for TTD at that point, and he will melt. And I think that's kind of what's needed here. Minus armor builds, maybe some medallion up on the Weaver as well, we'll see. But I like it. Kind of gives away their entire lineup though about how they want to run things. I mean, Mag picked up the Clockwork, so he's going to be going on the off lane. We have Resolution and the Shadow Fiend going towards the mid lane. Always Wanna Fly will be in the jungle with the Enigma, and we have an IO Weaver lane on the bottom lane with Jackal farming up on the Weaver, and we just dig on the IO. So pretty standard, I would say, coming off from TTD. Just Rox Kiss. It's left for a surprise, or is it? I'll leave them to be introduced by you.
Yeah, Rock's gonna be on the dire side. We have BZZ. He looks to be going mid on the Centaur. I like that, but I don't know if it's right. It's something I like to do, but it doesn't mean it's right. G is currently playing the Timbersaw, going up towards the top lane.
You had Lux server, right? I think yes. You should. I think you should say it as Lux. Still. Well. Hope there's no.
I mean, yeah.
I think it should be Lux. Yeah.
It's Lux, so I mean, they're all in the same.
Whoa. Apparently the go was for the remake. I thought it should be Lux. Oh well, we're gonna have a rehost, so it's okay though. We're just gonna have its trade.
What do they want? Well,
just
okay,
ask.
I guess we'll find out in game.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're finding out in game. We're not gonna have a whole reintroduction thingy because that's just annoying. We'll just be able to join the lobby when it comes back up. So all people in the VOD, sorry, but I'm sure someone has put down like pause ends at or game starts at, etc.
So, okay.
Stockholm. Oh, that's surprising. An all pick mode. Oh, you already had that. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I knew AP. I just hit rehost to get it up fast, but so they want Stockholm. All right.
Yeah. We'll give them Stockholm. Well, at least we figured it out, and we had a lobby up in time, so that's all fine. Still think we're good. Awake vs Impervious is casted by the Porcelain Liddy, by the way, at the moment. You can check it out on Twitch. You can also check out my website where it's listed. Awesome. Anyways, we're gonna have then a Timbersaw on the safe lane. Centaur mid. I'm not sure how Centaur will do up against a Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, I mean, so Shadow Fiend can't really harass him that well early on. If he's going to rely on raises, he can try and do it that way, but he has a lot of HP, so it's kind of hard to just burn through it with raises, and if you're right-clicking him, Shadow Fiend's particularly not tanky, so Return can do a lot of work in that lane. We'll see how he ends up leveling if he puts early points on Return to try and take advantage of Shadow Fiend wanting to hit him. But yeah, I don't think it's a great matchup for Centaur. Just being melee against ranged is always kind of rough.
Yeah, I don't think he'll necessarily lose the lane. But he's not gonna win the lane.
Yeah, I don't think he should, but I've seen crazier things.
That's true. It is Dota. Everything can happen. I mean, we say how matchups are probably gonna turn out to be based on the heroes, but ooh, look at the Centaur. He's in mid-air, still jumping down. But of course, I mean, it's all gonna depend on skill. And for people wondering, Riot is actually a sponsor of Tech Labs in general, and Tech Labs has got a sponsor rotating logo with all their sponsors, so including Riot. Sorry, people, you have to look at the Riot logo while watching Dota, but they are a sponsor of Tech Labs in general. Tech Labs is not just Dota. The show match of League of Legends is today, as well as CSGO and some other games, but I don't really know which ones. But we have a pause. So we're still waiting for Resolution.
Yeah, Resolution disconnected.
Again, wasn't he the one that disconnected out last game as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember already. I wasn't really paying attention to who disconnected. I don't know what that's about. They're all there together, so hopefully it gets resolved, and it's not just like they're complaining about the servers again, because there's not a lot I can do about it.
At times like these, I'm sad that I turned off the scrolling possibility. Because I can't scroll right now. But I would like to see what Enigma actually looks like up close, because he is just spawning, so he's looking a bit awkward. Weaver, same story. Darkseer, same story. Centaur, same story. Naga Siren, actually a little bit farther in, I guess. Centaur he's actually still floating, isn't he?
I think his hind legs are they're up. He's floating. It looks like he's falling from the sky.
Yeah. That's a horse. Okay. Oh, by the way, you were introducing Ruxkiss before we remade.
Oh, that's right. So we have G playing the Timbersaw, BZZ. On the Centaur, War Runner, Goblok going to be taking up the Naga Siren, Yol on the Visage, and Tron on the Darkseer. And we'll see how they end up laning, because it could be anything at this point. It looked like Centaur was going mid,
Yeah,
and that's why we were discussing it.
Yeah, I think also one of the supports was already making its way top, so that means that we would see just an off-lane Darkseer by Tron, and just a standard tri-lane, non-aggressive on the top lane. Would be kind of boring, but it will be interesting to see Resolution taking on the Centaur in the mid, because that will be one of our only matchups. I actually think that Darkseer will be able to be a little bit up against the IO and Weaver, but at some point we'll rotate into the jungle. And of course Mag can't really rotate into the jungle, and he therefore will have a very tough time actually if he's up against a tri-lane.
Yeah, well, it's still just so hard to determine exactly what they were going to want to do with this. Throwing that Centaur mid, it looked like Timbersaw was going top at this with a support, which is also really confusing, and that's why I'm like, I don't know what they want to do. I guess they could tri-lane the Timbersaw. I would be surprised if they're going to do that. I feel like Goblok really wants to take advantage of having Centaur's ult early, so they're trying to solo him again.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the plan. We'll see if that's what it goes on with and how long this pause is going to take. It's really surprising.
No, it's an online event or offline event, so perhaps there's some computer issues or something like that. I mean, that happens often. I don't want to make any comments about it being in Kiev, but I just did. Oh, burn! So no, it's just probably someone's computer just messing up. There's actually 40 computers backstage, I've been told, so it should be swapped around fairly easily and just log in different Steam, and he is fine. But we'll see if those 40 computers are actually free or not. We don't know. I kind of like the Centaur. I also think Goblok wants to pick up the Centaur often because people just don't know really yet what to do against it.
Yeah, it's new to competitive at the very least, and he was somewhat new in this form to Dota 2. But there are other heroes as well that he could be trying out in that way, like Troll.
Yeah.
Yep, Troll.
I would
is
like
the
to see
obvious one that comes to mind. Everyone wants to see Troll.
I actually saw Troll in the qualifiers for the Star Ladder last Thursday, I believe. He won. Towers melted.
Yeah, that's what he is good at. Melting towers with his entire team.
Yeah. Was pretty strong showing, to be fair. It was fun. I would actually like to see Goblok just going all out, having Abaddon, and Centaur, and Troll, and Elder Titan, and then whichever one they want to have as last. Make it happen, Goblok. Grand finals if they make it there. Oh, loser bracket. Look at the loser bracket finals. We'll go for those. It's fine. Well, there we have the reconnect. Thank you very much. Means we're gonna have finally people going towards the lane. Means we can see how Resolution will do up against BZZ. One thing to note is, of course, Resolution is a strong mid player. I mean, he's very young, but he is a very strong mid player. And BZZ normally is not the mid player of his team. He's normally the carry. So, I'm not sure if that's going to be working against him or not. Something to keep in mind.
Maybe they just don't want to send G against Resolution. Aren't they like teammates now?
They could be. I am lost in terms of team switches.
Oh, I guess I don't remember. It feels like everyone switches team. I thought they were both on VP now, but I could be wrong about that.
No, yeah, you could be right as well. So don't know until we check, and I can actually check that fairly easily. VP does have Resolution, but does not have BZZ. Fixed.
No, not BZZ. G.
VP
It's
also has G. Yes, and Goblok.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's 3 people from VP on this game across both teams.
Yes.
One's on one team, 2 are on the other.
Yep. That's how
It's
it
kind
goes.
of awkward.
Well,
So everyone's mid, so we didn't get to see anything before the pause. It looks like Tron is going towards the off lane, but everyone else is in the mid lane. They're formatting mid.
first blooding Shadowfiend. Shadowfiend is actually one of those heroes that needs a good start. And if he doesn't, he has a tough time getting back up on his so-called horse. And if they can shut him down a couple of times in mid, That would give Centaur a pretty big edge, I think. Shadow Fiend needs that head start if he doesn't get those souls up.
Yeah, especially since Centaur does quite a bit of base damage early on and is a melee hero, so just naturally it's easier to last hit with him typically. He'll have a really big advantage if they get that early kill on Shadow Fiend and stop him from really getting souls. It doesn't look like Wisp went bottom, so we're going to be probably trying to pull down that bottom lane and should have some success, since I kind of doubt Darkseer is going to bother trying to really ward the bull spawn. Might go over there and be a hassle in general, but things are probably going to be pretty okay. It's actually Clockwork down there as well, not Weaver.
It's quite surprising, but we do know that, actually it wasn't Mag, but we do know Clockwork was support at some point as well. Well, yeah, Clockwork will then be farming bottom. That's fine, I can understand that. But then Weaver will be solo top, and he is going to be up against a tri lane. I don't know if they can sacrifice that. Maybe they are expecting an aggressive tri lane from Rocks, and they're trying to dodge it already. That could be.
It's certainly possible that they're trying to just like outthink them, like, oh, they're going to run this aggressive tri lane. We don't want our Weaver down there getting hit by the tri lane. And of course, if they find out the other way, it's much easier for them to move one hero across the map than move two. Effectively, they can just swap the Clockwork and the Weaver if they really want to.
Yeah.
Whereas Rocks would have to send all three heroes to continue to try and harass out the Weaver.
Yeah, but right now, if Weaver is going to be up against that aggressive tri lane, he is not going to have an easy time. He doesn't do so well against the burst damage coming up from the Timbersaw. And I would actually expect, I don't think I've seen G play Timbersaw before, or God play Timbersaw before. I would expect him to be a very aggressive Timbersaw. And that's not fun for a Weaver at all. What's with that pause?
He said it was mouse issues.
Brain issues. Boom. Mag with the insult. Mouse issues. Well, those happens. I guess.
I guess they happen. Yeah, I don't know. They're on other people's computers, so
Yeah.
maybe he's just having a little bit of hardware issue.
Yeah, of course, right now we are 1 hour and 20 minutes behind schedule. For us, right now, it doesn't matter. For the teams, as in they're playing, like said, backstage. So they should not have an issue in terms of scheduling, but be wary that the grand finals might be a little bit later than the starting time. The official starting time of the grand finals was actually going to be 17:40, so CEST time that is, and on stage. But because it's on stage, it's going to be probably not entirely around that time. I think we can set our clocks for that one, or can't rather. Oh well. Of course.
Yeah, and if these games are behind, we're already an hour and 20 minutes behind on this game. So if the next two best of three, or the next
we
best
only
of three,
have one game left.
One best
after
of
this
three
one.
left. It's one best of three.
The loser bracket finals are not best of three.
I think they are. You sure?
No.
I'm almost certain they are when I looked it up earlier. That's why there was the time. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think it said that the loser bracket finals and the grand finals were both best of three.
Okay.
And I was confused why the loser bracket finals would be, but the winners bracket finals weren't.
30 seconds to battle.
Well, this one is regardless best of one, so we know that much. And we'll just let it come to us. Of course, Tech Labs, Russian administrators, and we are both English-speaking commentators, so we are kind of out of the loop in terms of communication for the tournament. Let's put it that way. But the pause is unpaused, and we're gonna see who is actually going where. As we have Weaver moving bottom again, so maybe it was a tactical pause with some things going on, like people seeing each other's screen and such, and then rotating back, and I don't know. Probably wasn't a tactical pause, but we do have the lanes that we were expecting to have. We have Mag again in the top lane, Jackal on the bottom lane, and we have a safe semi-trial lane. I say semi-trial lane because Goblak right now is not there. And he actually uses 200 gold to counter one Observer Ward up on the high ground. Of course, it's a very important center of Observer Ward because you only get 2 before the 4.5 minute mark. And especially if you want to try to gank Resolution. Because the thing about having a Shadow Fiend is, like, the reason why Shadow Fiend doesn't get picked up that often is because he is easily ganked, I've been told. And well, now with him having no vision anymore, the gank should be coming out a little bit easier if they want to try and go for that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Goblik is hanging out here on the Naga. It makes it really annoying, certainly, for Resolution. He has to be careful. If he gets netted, he can go down very quickly. Even in the tower, BCC won't be really afraid of diving a tower on a hero like Centaur. Probably wants at least one more level, though, to get that point in the double edge, and he has it now. And they can put out a lot of damage very quickly. And, of course, Resolution on Shadow Demon. He's got 500 health.
Oh, they're going for him. They stomp him down. Can they take him down? Yes, they can. That's first blood going the way of BCZ and Snare there and everything else to follow up. BCZ taking a lot of damage, but that's okay. He still has 3 tangos and Goblik will gladly take the farm.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
so that went exactly how I said it would.
Yep.
They just netted him, walked up, and killed him. The tower is not an issue when you have 700 HP, at least the tier 1. So they just kill him off. It's going to be real tough for Shadow Fiend to deal with this, and they don't really have anyone great to rotate in there. Wisp just won't do much of anything, which is a problem. And, of course, Enigma, he also doesn't do a lot until he gets some levels, and he really wants to be jungling to get level 6, maybe get a mech up very quickly for his team.
Yeah, one of the things maybe that they could do, well, actually, no, they cannot sacrifice the farm of Enigma either. Maybe Clockwork if he can't get anything top, which looks to be the case. He can do something there. Clockwork is exchanging blows with Yul as Tron is actually, I thought he was getting away. He is getting away. Jeez, that was close. I thought he was getting away, but then Enigma came around and it made it a little bit more tough, but in the end Tron does not die and is escaping home safely. As Mag and Yul were just exchanging blows, I thought there was something happening there, but those are safe as well. So we have got a Shadow Fiend that is taking Sanctuary with the small camp to get some souls up to increase his damage a little bit and allow him maybe to get some more last hits up against these this duo of destruction. Calling them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty common strategy by Shadow Fiend. A lot of times your mid lane is really difficult, so he's going to stack in the jungle whenever he can, and if the creep wave gets close to his tower, which it typically will because mid is so back and forth with the tower, he'll be able to get at least some experience that way and maybe some souls as he gets more points in the Necromastery.
Yeah, Mag's still sitting at level 1 for now. I mean, there's a Observer Ward placed here as well. There's just no way of him getting close to the quick wave. So G is having free farm here on the top lane. He's actually highest on last hits. 22 for 12 right now with Jackal, who also in a way has free farm here, is only 16 to 4. So Rox is actually getting the best out of everything, apart from the bottom lane perhaps, but even there they are out farming on their own safe lane. We do have Darks here rotating. He went into the jungle rather than, well actually he just TP'd bottom rather than sitting on the bottom lane, but he went bottom again. So we'll see how successful he's going to be. He was in a jungle just a moment ago, wasn't he? Am I blind? Did I just imagine him being in the jungle?
Yeah, I didn't notice him in the jungle. It's possible he was and he ported down there because there's this big creep wave coming in. But he's not really going to be able to get experience that way either, I don't think.
Oh, maybe I just thought I saw him in the jungle. That's weird. Anyways, we do have a tier 1 tower going down. There's no real stopping this, even if you're a Darkseer. Iron Shell's not strong enough just yet, only level 2. You should be very careful. Of course, the combination between a Weaver and an IO is to get a tether up, a tether stun real fast, without you knowing it. If you're like that, unless you surge away. Surging helps, the spirit still hit, but gets forced back. That means the tier 2 tower is already in some trouble as Mag gets forced back on the top lane. Still level 1 up on Mag.
Yeah, Mag's not having a great time, and that's not really surprising on Clockwork. He is being a hassle to this top lane, though. He's blocked that pull camp with his rocket a couple times now, and it looks like he's going to go for it again. And I think he has the time. Yeah, he has the timing right. So he's just stopping the pulls by being Clockwork. It's not that difficult to do once you're used to the timing. So he's not getting anything, but he's also slowing down Yul from really getting too much of anything up here.
Yeah, Yul is also level 2 only. Can't really get any extra farming experience next to what G actually allows him to have. G, who is still, of course, doing really well though on the lane. I mean, he's not interrupted at all and seems to be keeping a good lane equilibrium. I mean, he's still being kept close to his tower, not allowing Mag to get a single point. BZZ also doing very well in the mid lane. Level 4
Yeah,
and level 5. Goblik actually higher level.
That's kind of going to just be the problem that they're going to encounter in the near future, is that they're getting out-leveled pretty heavily in a lot of their lanes. They're shutting down Tron, like, moderately well. He's only level 4, but Weaver's level 5, so they're not, like, keeping him out, not the same way that they are with this Clockwork, who is sitting just now getting level 2.
Yeah, Resolution's got a nice stack, though. Perhaps he's able to make something happen there later on. But for now, he is still... Like, the thing is, what we saw in the previous game, where we saw Centaur, was that they just weren't able to kill him. They didn't have a chance. He was too tanky and they couldn't get him down. I'm scared that the same thing will happen again. I'm scared for TTD, because right now, I mean, he is getting ahead, and when he is starting to get ahead, we've seen in the previous game that it's very hard to stop him. And I wonder if Shadow Fiend will get enough to be able to stop him together with Jackal's Weaver. Jackal, by the way, who's got 2200 gold, hasn't spent a single cent just yet. What do you think he's gonna go for?
I don't know exactly what he's going to want to pick up. There's a lot of items you can go for. I don't know that I love the Lincolns this game. Maybe he's really concerned about Ensnare, and so he'll go that route. But I think picking up some damage early could really help his team out. Maybe even going for something like Desolator very quickly. If he wants to be more defensive, Lincolns or BKB are the most likely choices, though.
Can he be choosing to be defensive in this game, or does he need to be aggressive to kill the Centaur? It's all about that Centaur. It just has such a big impact, I find.
Yeah, they have to... It depends how they think, how worried they are really about the Centaur. If Centaur gets really big, like he did in that game earlier today, it's going to be difficult for them to kill him, sort of, but they also have a lot more physical damage than the team prior to this. They have both a Weaver and a Shadow Fiend. That's a lot of minus armor they can put out, and right-click damage. They have some lockdown in the form of Enigma as well as Clockwork to catch them in cogs. So maybe they're not as concerned about Centaur as the team earlier needed to be, and their late game is pretty strong with Shadow Fiend and Weaver to carry when the Rocks don't have really any traditional carry, since Naga is obviously being played in a support role again. It just depends how much they think they're worried, I guess, about the aggression that's likely to come out from Rocks. I think probably their best bet is to pick up damage is what I would sort of push for, but I could see them going defensively here very easily.
Well, he did pick up something, so let's see what the courier has in store. Well, it's just it's just treads and a magic wand and raised band, so nothing really that decides anything just yet. In the meantime, tier 2 tower on the bottom lane gets pressured a little bit. Fortification even gets forced out, and the tier 1 on the top lane does end up dropping. I mean, there's 3 heroes bashing on it, and Clockwork at level 2 can't really do anything to stop that from happening. No surprise there. BZZ has got his level 6 as Clockwork goes down by the Timbersaw. That's a solo kill. Gee, went aggressive. The Chakram, the Whirling Death, it was enough to take him down. His supports has left, but I figured he'd leave too. He says no.
Yeah, it's Clockwork trying to stay forward, get experience, force this lane off of his tower, doing whatever he can, but it's a huge level difference realistically because it's level 8 against level 3. So as soon as Timbersaw got next to him, he was pretty much never getting away because Timber Chain allows him to chase so effectively, and of course the amount of burst damage you can really do. So not a really surprising kill there, except for maybe the fact that Mag should never have been in a position to get chased down by a Timbersaw.
Yeah, I mean, saying that of about levels, Shadow Fiend is actually also level 8 at the moment. They're the 2 highest levels heroes on the map, so the Timbersaw and the Shadow Fiend. And he's been able to get some decent levels and get some decent farm as well, I'd like to say. I mean, he is not highest on his team, not highest on the map by far, but he is second highest, and he is actually not doing as bad as I thought that he might be doing after, of course, dying first. So we'll see if they can make a difference here, as the raises are, of course, now a bit higher level, so they can harass a little bit better for Rock's Kiss. But they're not going somewhere just yet. At least they're not going to try for a kill just yet.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend is really resilient when you're allowed to just kind of stack and nuke down the creep waves in the jungle. He's very effective at that, where a lot of other mid heroes maybe aren't as effective. So he's able to survive even though his lane is basically unwinnable for him. He spends as little time as possible in this particular, in the lane. He just kind of walks out every once in a while to maybe nuke a couple creeps, or if they gets close enough to his tower that he can actually last hit. He's doing well, all things considered, but he's not doing as well as Centaur, and that's going to kind of be somewhat relevant as soon as Centaur starts trying to move around here.
Yeah, we have got some movement around, by the way. It is God that has showed himself on the bottom lane. Looks for Timber's Chain, looks for Ouija Zig. He is level 6, however, though, so if need be, he can get himself away. In comes the Song. Can't get himself away at all. This should be a kill. Chakram is there. Relocate's not there. That's a kill. Io down. Can they find more? No, they cannot. Jackal is already on the way out. Maybe, though, with all this rotation, the tier 1 tower on the mid lane, it has been left empty, and it has been starting to take quite a bit of damage. Maybe they can take something down though. Goblak with an ensnare up on Jackal. Tower about to go down. In comes a black hole though. That's Visage down. Goblak picked up as well, and 2 extra people just run themselves inside the black hole. They do end up taking down Always Wanna Fly, but the tier 1 tower drops, and they only get 1 hero in return for losing that tower and 2 kills. I think that TTD is the one to get ahead of this exchange.
Yeah, I mean, they got 1 extra kill, and they also got the tower down. They traded their jungle Enigma, who's probably a little bit more valuable than a support for 2 supports. So, it's okay. I just got kind of flabbergasted there. Rod of Atos picked up by Timbersaw first item?
It's surprising. It's actually working very nicely with Chakram, I guess.
It's a slow that helps him set up kills, I guess,
Yeah.
but Rod of Atos isn't the most powerful item in the game. So we'll see how it ends up working for him. It gives him what he
Relocate.
wants, I guess.
They relocate to try and find Joel. Ouija Zig looks for Tether, finds it. Joel, I think you're gonna be dead. There we go. In comes the Centaur BZ. We've seen him do that before, just, you know, stomp him because he can.
Well, that was Tron last game.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Tron played Centaur the first game.
So confusing. Well, we see Centaurs do that before. Mag is getting chased down by Timbersaw once again. Look at this creep, or tower, or whatever, tree emptiness though. That's kind of shutting down the ganking potential from G. You just can't find trees to latch to. You used them all.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest problems with Timbersaw is when the trees aren't really positioned the way you want them to be, it's very difficult for you to do much of anything. You can't chase, you can't really use the Whirling Death to its full extent, making it pure damage, so it's a lot harder to actually get the kills.
Resolution in the meantime. Having almost his BKB ready, just needs the recipe for that. And when that happens, perhaps we're going to see him being a little bit more aggressive on the map. I'm still waiting for G. I mean, he picked up a Rod of Atos, and I think you picked that up only if you know that you're going to use it straight away, or at least soon. So I'm waiting for him to try and maybe make something happen. Maybe in the mid lane as there is Resolution, just trying to make something happen, raising the creep wave once again. I mean, right now, it is actually TTD that is 1 tower ahead. And I think that Ruxkiss will probably try to make something happen of their own to try and take a tower afterwards, but we'll see. We have for BZZ the same build again, or at least he picked up a hood of Defiance again. So let's see if there's going to be a couple of hearts in his inventory soon.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to go maybe that exact route again. He did start with the hood, you're right. He went that way before. But that double heart build, he was getting a lot of farm.
Yeah, a lot more than this
maybe
game.
Centaur's getting pretty good farm this game, but he's not getting like complete free farm for like the first 20 minutes like he was last game. So we'll see if that's the route he wants to go again. Maybe pick up the heart, go into AC just to get additional armor for his team, try and counteract that aura from the Shadow Fiend. But they are going to get that tower for free. Obviously TTD don't want to really try and take that particular team fight.
Yeah, we have got Ouija Zig in a little bit of trouble here. He can try to relocate himself out of this one, but will be quite troublesome. G getting some bugs on him, and that's supposedly the exit mark for him. Doesn't go chase down the IO, but it's a tower trade almost. It's a deny, but tower tier 2 dying for tier 1. Not ideal for Ruxkiss, but they do get some extra gold. However, we do have Resolution on top of the net worth right now.
Yep, and he just finished his BKB. And we do see Weaver going for a BKB as well, so it looks like that's what their strategy is going to be. They don't want to die to Timbersaw. They don't want to be dying to Centaur in these fights, at least for now. And the BKBs are very effective for that. They're still going to be able to get locked down by the Ensnare from the Naga Siren. And of course, having only a couple BKBs on your team makes Song kind of powerful against your team in general. Since obviously Song doesn't go through BKB, and then it's really easy to focus down a hero like Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of physical damage though inside of Rocks, so maybe it's not as easy as it normally would be.
Oh, they look for Godlike. The hook shot missed though, but Godlike's still taking quite a bit of damage from Jackal. But in comes Tron, and we actually have a rotation complete. 5 heroes on the side of Rock's Case on the top lane. But they won't be able to get anybody out anymore. And this is actually quite a bit of wasted time, because there's not that much farm to share here on the top lane.
Yeah. And the tier 1's already down, so it's not even really a good place to be pushing. If they want to try and go for tier 1, they have to go bottom. So it was kind of maybe a little overzealous with the teleports in to try and help out Naga there. I don't know if they were just expecting more heroes to be there since they couldn't really see anyone on the map. But they do end up wasting a lot of gold and time as a result of it.
Yeah, I thought Vijay was going to go try and place a ward. Oh, he still does. He got forced away by G once again. But this time not able to get a kill. It's 3-4. I'm quite surprised that actually, considering the two teams we have here, the kills are not as many as I thought there would be. But maybe soon that's going to be changing. If there's going to be a Roshan kill, we might have a fight over that. And I say that because Yol just picked up the Medallion of Courage. And that usually indicates that Roshan is right around the corner. And hey, the build that I wanted to see in the previous game that we saw Centaur, we have the Blink Dagger. Let the aggression commence.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to, if that's just a sign of lots of aggression, or that they feel they really need the initiation power that can be brought upon by having the Centaur Blink Dagger. Last game they just kind of used him as their carry, and he could stand in the middle of the fight, and no one could do anything anyways. Maybe they felt this wouldn't go as well in this particular game. They're not doing this Roshan very quickly, and I think that might be a problem.
Yeah, because in comes a hook shot up on BZZ. Locks in 2, in comes a stop mag, though already gone. Song, not there. Not there yet anyway. Visage drops first, in comes the BKB, down goes the Centaur and his resolution. That's just making a big difference right here. Relocate forward as well as Godlike drops G, trying to get himself out. Should be able to with the Simmer Chain off cooldown. He should be able to get himself out just fine. Darkseer up on the high ground, can't really do anything. He got forced up there by the cogs from Clockwork. And it looks like they'll find that he is there fairly soon. Yeah, there goes the spirits hitting on him, but they'll take Roshan. BKB shown off by Resolution and fight won by TTD. Roshan taken by TTD and Resolution with the Aegis. That was pretty sweet. And 2 BKBs, of course. Jackal has his own one, so very defensive from him as well. And just overall good fight for them.
It was just they took a little too long to do that Roshan fight, and I feel like you have to be aware of that. They even had they had wards that could see them coming, so they were able to get some of their heroes out of the pit before the initiation by Clockwork. But when you don't really have a lot of physical damage, the way Rock's Case's lineup really is obvious, it takes too long, and there was just a lot of good rotation that came out from TTD, and they got a good team fight out of it.
Yeah, they nuked their mag fairly soon, but they used everything on him, and as you pointed out earlier, physical damage is needed, and especially if you have 2 heroes that have BKB. You can't really do that much against them unless you just wait until the BKB ends. Luckily for them, like right now the 10-second BKB is out of the way, but it's still 9 seconds, and that means that you basically have to lose like, what, 5 more team fights before you can actually start doing something, and with those 4-second BKBs. Of course it's not that black and white, but it's still quite troublesome for Rock's Case.
Yeah, they really need someone to be able to put out some damage here, and they can't rely on the BKBs just kind of ending before the fights end, because no one is really tanky 19 minutes into the game enough where like fights are lasting more than 15-20 seconds before someone is like obviously the winner, and BKBs are up for the majority of that. And they try and get a gank down there on Wisp. Wisp is just going to TP out. They'll be able to get the tower as a result of this, because TTD just don't really feel the need to defend this tier 1 tower all the way in the bottom lane apparently. I don't know that they're going to be able to get a trade up in the top lane. They're really far.
Yeah, I think they're not going to be fast enough, but the question is, will Rock's Case want to fight after previous fight that they had? Well, I guess they don't know that not everybody is there. We'll see if they attempt to do something there, because I think they could, since it's only 3 or 4. Resolution coming in from the side though. He's going for Manta Style. And tier 1 tower is giving up on both sides.
Yeah, so still a pretty passive game, all things considered, though. 6-5 the kill score, and the teams are kind of avoiding each other quite a bit. I don't know if Rocks can really afford to just do that and give up a bunch of towers, though. Again, they don't have a like physical right-click carry, and that's going to be a bad thing if this game goes on really late.
Radiant's
Yeah,
bottom
especially if
tower
TTD
is
continues
under
with this
attack.
pressure that they're applying right now. They do back off in the end, but the threat was there. And Roxkiss were not the one to try and initiate. Now they would be when they're on the back end, but no. Roxkiss, I think after previous fight, regardless on how it is actually like right now, I think Roxkiss is feeling like they are behind and therefore are not as aggressive as they otherwise would be, unless they know for certain that not the entire team of TTD is around there. And of course, they know that they still have to deal with the Aegis as well for a while, so also a reason to not be as aggressive as they might be, but wondering if that's not hurting them more than helping them.
Yeah, they. Anytime you lose a fight that big, it kind of gets in your head a little bit, and they have to be aware that they are behind after that, after how poorly that fight really went. Of course, they gave up Roshan as well after doing at least half of the work for TTD. So it makes sense that they don't want to take the fight. They don't want to try and kill Shadow Fiend through the Aegis. That's kind of difficult at this point, and it means he's just going to be sitting there trying to put out as much damage as possible before the Aegis, and then when it pops, come back out with BKB and be pretty much unkillable for their team at this point in the game. So avoiding fights makes sense for at least the next couple minutes, but they need to make something happen. They're still getting out-farmed by these heroes, and that's kind of the problem they're
Blink,
going to run
stop.
into.
They go for Weaver. Can he time-lapse in time? No, he cannot. That's a kill. Weaver dead. We just dig. Probably going to be dead as well. He tries to get himself away, but no such luck. Double kill for BZZ. That's the first time Blink Dagger was shown, and that's the kind of ganks that they need to have happen.
Yeah, it's good for them to be able to get a gank on the Weaver, but I think one of the bigger targets right now is really the Shadow Fiend. They need to shut him down. They did a good job of taking away his lane, but he was able to jungle very effectively, and since then has just gotten a lot of farm, kind of continued snowballing up. He's got his, I think, does he have his Manta finished now?
He should be almost.
I think it's on the Courier. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Does the Courier have? No, not yet. He does have the gold for it though, about-ish. We do have Resolution indeed the highest up on net worth as well. I mean, he's almost 2k gold ahead. Well, 1200 gold right now of the second highest on the list. And like you said, I mean, he got shut down early game, but it didn't seem to hurt him that much once he started stacking and pulling in the jungle. Or stacking and killing in the jungle, I should say.
Yeah, it's one of the best things to really do as a Shadow Fiend, especially on the Radiant side, because it's so much easier to get to those camps and pull them from the middle lane. You can just move in and out of the lane anytime it gets close to your tower. It's an advantage for TTD. They're pretty much forcing Roxkiss now to try and make something happen. It looks like BCC wants to go for this, but the initiation target on Resolution's not particularly good.
Mag is looking for a hook. Can't find it just yet though. Tower is about to go down. He comes in a snare upon Resolution. He still has his BKB. And they just don't want to throw anything out there. Aegis is still there. Only for a little while though. Just gonna disappear soon, but they take a tier 2, that's all they wanted, they back off. We only have one outer tower left standing on the side of Rox right now, which is a tier 2 top of course. And all the outer towers is, in terms of tier 2s, all the tier 2s still standing on the side of terrible, terrible damage.
Yeah, they're not really, they're getting an advantage in terms of these towers, slowly just sieging them out, and it's really good passive play by TTD to slowly just bleed them out, taking away these towers and map control. They don't really need to overextend. There's a lot Roxkiss can do, especially if they get kind of separated in of a sloppy team fight. There's a lot of burst damage there on those supports, and if the two carries are left completely alone, they can definitely get them down just with the ensnare to make sure that they're not moving around a ton in the BKBs. So it's smart play by them, staying together, making sure that they just don't overextend, try and chase into a trap. It's slow, but it's what they need to be doing right now.
Yeah, perhaps they can even try and take a tower in that way, if they catch out TTD by surprise, but I mean, one of the downsides of sticking together is of course that you lose a little bit of farm because of it. And when is that gonna be too much to deal with? I mean, the gold graph is only 5k in favor of TTD right now. 5k in 25 minutes is really not that much. Experience graph also not that big of a difference, 4k about-ish in favor of TTD, but both are actually just acceptable. I mean, they're easy to come back from. One big team fight could just turn everything around. Team fight where Roxkiss can take a tower afterwards, for example, to get even more gold. And considering there's 2 towers difference, and the gold difference is only 5k, the gold difference in a way you can count as only 2k, because towers are about 3k gold net worth if you count the last hit with that.
Yeah, and so it's not a ton in terms of just what they farmed on the map, but it's going to be kind of difficult for Rox to get those towers down anytime in the near future. A lot of the lanes have been kind of pressured towards Rox for the most part. We see the bottom lane is the only one really far on the side of TTD, and it's getting pushed out right now as well. It's going to be kind of difficult for them to get those towers and claim that gold to try and take away some of the advantage. In the meantime, TTD is starting to farm up the Dire jungle as well.
Yeah, we have another BKB for Always Wanna Fly, 10 seconds. It's gonna be tough for Roxkiss to get a finger in the fight. Of course, one of the things that I'm kind of missing from both teams actually is wards. I mean, one of the things that TTD could be doing, and of course, I mean, they have the upper hand right now, so they don't need to be making any moves. We saw that Always Wanna Fly. We saw that. Nice BKB. Yes, you have one also. Grats. So, one of the things that I'm missing is wards. We have no wards anymore left on the side of TTD, because the observer ward on the Ancients is gonna disappear, and they have a lineup that they can actually gank with fairly easy with the relocate perhaps. But they don't have any extra wards. They don't know where Roxkiss is gonna be. Roxkiss only has one ward up on the high ground in the Roche pit. Roche, who is gonna be up again in 1 minute, so it's a good ward, and they need more than that just to be able to cover that Roche pit with some sentries perhaps as well, or. Well, Goblik has the sentries and the gems, so that's gonna be that. But the map coverage, the map control should be going the way of TTD, but it's not going the way of TTD enough, I think.
Yeah, definitely there should be pretty good map coverage coming out from TTD, because they just control more of the map at the moment. But the wards are starting to come up from Rox, and I think one of the biggest things is that there is a gem up on the side of Rox carried by the Naga currently. So if they're dropping those wards, there's always a chance they're going to be getting killed. Yeah. I'm not certain that they've seen that gem yet. I think it was a recent acquisition,
it was recent.
And I don't think Goblik has actually approached many creep waves. But if he sent his illusions out, you'd still be able to check the gem. So it's kind of surprising that they're not warding, but at the same time, it's not like the biggest deal if they're just really playing super passively and they're not really concerned about what Rox are doing at the moment, as long as they continue getting their farm. We do have the Heart about to be coming up from Centaur. He's like 150 gold off, sending the courier to the secret shop at the moment.
We got a
so we'll have
of big items.
Yeah, both sides are gonna start getting their big items up. Desolator rather is finished by the Weaver now, so that's going to give them some additional damage. Timbersaw is finished with Scythe of Eyes, which is kind of a huge deal if they can try and set up a pick-off on something like Shadow Fiend before he gets his BKB off. They do have quite a bit in terms of stun if they can just kind of get Centaur to blink in while he's scythed and just give him the stomp, try and damage him down very quickly. It can work. It's just going to be somewhat difficult to actually get that execution off and catch Resolution completely off guard with it, especially after the first time.
Yeah. And of course, Resolution also not having his Daedalus ready. So more damage coming out from him. I mean, all those big items are about ready. We have the Heart, as you said, already picked up. Smoke up now from Rox, because that Hex was the one that they were waiting for. We have Roshan up as well, so the next fight that happens is going to be the determined fight of who goes to take the Aegis, and who is going to be very sad for the next 10 minutes. Next 5 minutes, perhaps even.
Yeah, and we're going to get the backstab from Roxkiss, so the fight's about to start, it looks like.
Yeah, I wanna say, like, they're charging up the lane, blinking. Oh, he blinks right into Tether. Still gets a stomp up on only one though, and look at that damage. He's dead. There we go. That's a Heart for you. Didn't really do that much. Resolution though, he turns on his BKB. Requiem of Souls coming out. It is a Darkseer that's already dead, and there comes the Song of the Siren, allowing everybody to back off unless Enigma makes something happen, which she doesn't. Relocate comes in still. They want to try and take this. We just dig. I'm not sure why you're here, because you're dead. So far, maybe Naga Siren will die, or maybe Visage will die. You're very low as well, but not dying just yet. So Io just relocated in with very low HP and didn't get anything done with that. But they will take Roshan. TTD, they have nothing to stop them from taking Roshan. They killed off the Centaur so fast.
Yeah, it's I don't know why. So I understand why he would go in and try and go for the initiation, but he went in blind and just immediately jumped onto the tether from Wisp. It wasn't particularly likely that he was going to blink directly onto Wisp's tether and stun himself, but it did happen, and it was something that could happen. So maybe a little overzealous with his jump there. Wanted to make something happen because he had railed it, I guess. Ends up not working out.
Yep, and of course, I mean, even if he didn't hit the tether, the damage coming out from the Weaver with the... I mean, he had his BKB turned on in time because of that tether, don't get me wrong. I mean, without it, he would be stunned for a while, and he might have been actually dead, bursted down. But when Jackal is alive, he's got that Desolator, and the aura from the Shadow Fiend, there's just... He just melted. That heart didn't seem to exist on the Centaur. It went so fast.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things is there's always a chance that that Centaur initiation doesn't work anyways. They're prepared. They're probably expecting a fight at that point. They hear the Centaur will go off. Centaur stun takes a while to actually get off. You can see that animation. They can pop BKBs in it very easily since BKB pops instantly. I don't know if that was ever going to work out the way they really wanted to. It wasn't them catching TTD completely off guard. And of course, the negative armor, it's like negative 12 armor, I think. Yeah, 13. So negative 13 armor, and Centaur has 10.
Yeah.
So he's taking a lot of damage. That's the real problem. The heart's great and all, but when you have negative 2 armor, having 2600 health isn't actually that big a deal.
Well, let's see if they can make something happen here, because tier 3 towers are about to drop if they don't care. Well, Resolution will have his Aegis burned. He just was asking for that. Like, I'm standing here, please take my Aegis. And Roxas says, okay, you got it. And actually, they hex him up. In comes a black hole, though. BCC getting attacked by that Weaver. It looks to be enough. In comes a BKB Resolution, and in goes the triple kill. Requiem of Souls, Wrecker of Teams. Roxkiss only have the Timbersaw left alive, and this could be the GG, because these Rex are not going to hold for long. And the rotation towards the bottom lane or mid lane, I think, will be there as well. Standing in Chakram is cool, apparently. All the cool kids do it nowadays. And they rotate. Why not? I mean, that was just utter destruction. I thought it was starting off well with the Hex up on Resolution, but then in comes Jackal and the Black
Mostly
Hole.
always want to fly with the Black Hole is
Yeah.
really the big thing there. Managed to catch the 2 basically damage-dealing heroes of Roxas out completely. And also, Naga didn't get her ult off.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why Goblik didn't get his ult off. He was in the back of the fight, I thought, but he just like kind of died. And that's really, I think, one of the best things for the Song of Siren. They can try and use it to break the Black Hole if Always One Fly doesn't pop his BKB correctly. So they lose 2 lanes of Rax. They're probably completely out of this game at this point, but they're not calling to the GG yet. They don't want to go to the losers bracket, I guess. So we'll get to see at least a little bit more Dota, maybe one last hurrah, but Resolution with double damage is not who you want to fight.
Well, they're gonna try it anyway, but he turns on his BKB. Can he actually do something? Gets ensnared, still had the satanic, yeah, every time. So he is gonna live for now. He might actually be trying to turn it around, but he doesn't have his BKB anymore right now. BKB still be almost on a fly, but it's Resolution that dies. In comes the hookshot, in comes Mac with his newly acquired BKB, Timber Chain away. Might be able to deny him 2 creeps. No, he just dies to Clockwork anyway. As we have got Enigma still picked up by the Darkseer. Now Mac on the run. Ouija is able to take him away in a couple of seconds, 3 seconds, but he has Tether on cooldown, so Ouija will be going away by himself as Jackal comes in. Everybody's just walking in one by one, but apparently it's working out. In comes another snare. Jackal almost taking down BCC. Nice time lapse. Gets it down. Tries to get himself away. In comes Ouija as well, and down comes the chase. Able to get a triple kill, looking for more. And that is just 4 people dead. For 2 heroes down on the side of TTD. I mean, it was starting out so well, but the BKBs, it just allows TTD to do whatever they want because Roxkiss cannot do anything against them.
Yeah, those BKBs are very powerful here. They don't have the right-click damage that they really need to kill heroes in BKB. They were able to get Resolution down just because his BKB was pretty short at this point, and of course he was ensnared for a large duration of it. But once they got him down, they were all the way in the Radiant Jungle, and there are other heroes that are farmed on TTD, like Jackal on this Weaver.
Yeah.
And now they're losing their last set of racks. There's no Centaur for 10 more seconds.
Oh, hex up on Jackal. In comes a song. It's not going to hit up on Jackal though, but it is hitting on Ouija Zig. So that's going to be one dead IO, unless he can tether himself out, but he won't be able to. That's Jackal also out of there. Maybe still in some trouble? Nope, he is fine. So they end up saving their bottom ranks, which is great. By the way, I just want to point out again, as Jackal
just like
Mag
getting himself killed.
Yeah, tries to TP himself out of his beak. He comes Resolution actually with the Requiem of Souls. We just dig back as well, and it is gonna be Yul that gets picked up. Resolution just hitting people left and right, gets a double kill already, looking for another target, but his BKB's on cooldown. He's getting stunned up by Familiars. The Black Hole will try and help out with BZZ stuck in that one. That will be an ultra kill if he gets it, and he gets it. Can't get the Rampage as God backs himself out, but that's a GG. One thing I still want to point out before we end the game, the time lapse of Jackal earlier on in the forest, to just move him that inch that got him out of range of that hoof stomp. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, it was like a really minor play. I don't think he knew exactly where he was going to go, but he was pretty sure it wasn't here, and that was what was important. I just don't want to be under the Centaur's hooves. That's the important thing. So, it was a well-fought game by Roxkiss, but I just kind of felt like their lineup, it had like a clock on it.
Yeah.
And they spent a long time farming when I'm not sure what their plan was. If they thought it was eventually just going to work out, and they were going to become so strong around 20-25 minutes, that'd be fine. Maybe they thought they were shutting down Resolution a lot more than they were. That's also possible.
Very possible. Yeah, he was doing very well in the jungle. We are therefore not going to see TTD right now, because they are now waiting in the grand finals up. Well, they're waiting on the team that will win the next matchup, which is going to be the loser bracket finals. It will be Roxkiss taking on the winner of the loser bracket semifinals, which I'm not going to reveal right now. I'm going to reveal after the outro is over, because that way I don't spoil anything for people that watch the VODs. Anyway, stick around, because Tech Labs is far from over. We're going to be seeing the loser bracket finals. Stick around for more Dota 2.